ready for my Carly again.
Except we were cursing a lot leading up to it.
We were cursing a lot leading up to
Let's
it.
fucking get it started. Let's fucking do it.
Not that this is like anything. This is probably like the highlight of our week, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like a little spicy. I'm just a little cranky, just a little bitter pants.
I kind of think we both are. I was
I
getting
think
so
so.
mad last night because, like, it felt like I think my alarm, the alarm, because not my alarm, it was the national warning system for flash flooding, and I was like, I get it. Shut up.
I get it. It's raining. I get it. Yeah. Yeah. It's I hate when they're like so aggressive that they don't just like push it out like once or twice. They did it like in your case like 6 times, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
understood. Like,
I'm
yeah,
not leaving and I get it because people were leaving their house. I was
of course
also
they
getting
were.
like alerts about water rescues, and my heart goes out to the first responders and thank you for their work because. Anyways, we'll just get into that.
Also, their patience.
Hey, Odd Fam, welcome back.
Welcome the fuck back to another
To
fucking
Oddities.
episode of Oddities. I'm fucking Cassie.
And I'm Kelly.
And welcome back to fucking Strange Town.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Yada yada da.
Can you tell we're done
It's only Monday.
with stupidity? It's been a real strong case of the Mondays, though.
It
And
has.
yesterday was an interesting day, to say the least.
It was. You know what? We know why this is happening. Mercury officially enters the microwave and the Gatorade.
Starts drinking that damn Gatorade.
It's gonna drink the Gatorade in like 2 days, and then we're all collectively fucked until a minimum of September 15th, but probably at least a couple weeks
Ouch.
after that. I know. I have a lot happening like in that time frame too. That like really ideally would be best if it like didn't get messed up. So
Would be ideal if Mercury wasn't doing this.
yeah, it would be ideal if this never happened, but here we are.
You know, here we
They're
are.
saying, I was reading about this earlier, it will be the tamest of the retrogrades this year because it's happening in like Virgo or something. And it has something to do with it's supposed to be there. I don't know. So,
You know what? I'll believe it when I see it.
yeah, I know. Well, I feel like the world's been really fucking annoying in the lead up, so maybe we're good.
We'll regroup afterwards and see
We'll
how
regroup.
it was.
We'll regroup. We'll circle back.
I don't
All
know.
the corporate
Yesterday
lingo.
was wild. Okay, California had a hurricane and an earthquake in the same day. Also a tornado and fire.
Listen, hell is a place on Earth, okay? We've established that, so we're not even surprised at this point.
I need to know how much you actually laughed when I sent you the message, earthquake?
I was like, honestly, I don't even think I reacted. I was like, I'm not surprised. Next. Like,
Fun fact, hurricanes cause earthquakes.
interesting. I don't
Like-
think too often for us, but yeah.
It's an actual thing. They're called tropical earthquakes. Like, it has something to do with the mudslides, and then it screws with the tectonic plates. Like, this is a scientific thing. Thanks to TikTok, I learned this yesterday.
Thanks, Tic Tac. Tickety tax.
And what was hilarious about it for me, I was on FaceTime with my sister. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
And we get earthquake alerts. And I was like, 6.0 earthquake, Ventura County. And I'm looking at her like, that's your county. Why are you moving?
Yeah.
And then she goes, hey, I'm moving. Oh, I'm moving a lot. And I was like, whoa, is it big? And then all of a sudden we started moving.
And then you started moving. I heard it was a rolling one rather than an up and down one.
For mom and for like their area, it was rolling. For us, it was a big jolt. Like it was just a chun.
And then that was enough of that. It got it out of its system. It was like, okay, and enough.
We're done.
Yeah. I don't know. Never mind. I'm just very pissy. Carry on. Go ahead. Like, I'm just like very easily irritated today. That's what it
I
is.
kind of really wish that we can show our listeners that gif I sent this morning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dagger eyes.
We could put it in. No, I don't know if we can do that. Never mind. I was gonna say the weekly post for. What? Go ahead.
I'll just I don't know, add it to some social media post next
week.
I don't know.
Yeah, put it up on some shit. Speaking of TikTok, kids, we have one and we put our first video up.
And it's getting good views.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled. It had 900 views, which for us is a big deal.
It's exciting.
Yay. We're going to put some more shit up there. I don't even, honestly, when I put it up there, I was like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right, so I'm just going to own it. And literally
I
on
think
the post,
you did
I was
it right.
Are we doing this right? I don't know how people do the crazy transitions. I don't know how the people do anything, but we don't need to know that, I don't think.
Hey,
I mean, maybe
it's all a learning curve. We do it. We learn as we do. So
you know what it is, though? Inherently, somebody's going to come through and be a fucking asshole, and I'm going to fucking obliterate them when they are.
I cannot wait for that day.
I fucking hope somebody tries it. That's all. The end.
Honestly, me too. Because I can't wait.
Hell yeah. Okay. We didn't even finish our intro. All the social medias in the description. Oh, if we haven't added TikTok, we should add that to the description.
Oh, yes, we should.
There's a way to do that for a blanket thing. And then, merch and Patreon. Just donate, please, for the love of God. Save us from the eternal
corporate
hellhole.
America.
That, it could be the next 40 plus years. And yeah, so anyway, I hope everybody's soul hasn't been entirely crushed by life, or that you're maintaining a small shred of humanity. And with that, should we party?
With that, I think everyone needs to give Cassie a virtual hug right now. Do it.
Hug me, please. Somebody hold me. I'm good. You know what's exciting for us is we've gotten to do oh, that was a big crash.
I think it was just one of my children. We're fine.
Okay. We've gotten to record 3 times in the last 4 days.
I know. We've seen a lot of each other, and I love it.
It's heaven. It really is. Okay. Should we do this?
Let's do this. Like I said, I have some haunted and honestly spooky crap.
Well, let's start with yours because mine's 0% spooky. It's just fun and funky and fresh.
All right. So I am covering the Sallie's house located in Atchison.
Of course.
Kansas.
I
literally can't say it any other way.
We're in Kansas.
We're in Kansas today. I'll start with the history and then just go straight into the haunting because
hell yeah,
that's what I do best.
Yeah.
The Sallie house was built in the mid 1800s.
Haunted.
Commissioned by the Finley family, the home to Dr. Charles Finley. He practiced medicine, and this was not an abnormal thing in that time.
Dr. Chuck. Okay.
Using the bottom floor for surgery and examination, in a bedroom as an office, the Finley family lived upstairs until moving out due to lack of space. They grew out of the home, literally.
Okay.
But I would ponder to think maybe they were being haunted. Anyways.
Okay.
There's nothing in between them moving out and this point, which was the house was listed on the real estate website Zillow for $1 million in February 2016 and then dropped to $499,000.
Oh, damn.
Was just taken off the market in 2017.
My favorite part is they're we're not going to take $500,000 off. We're going to take $501,000 off. That's so annoying to me.
Right?
Okay.
It remains vacant and honestly is, I would say, a living museum now. Oh. Maybe one would say a haunted Airbnb.
Oh.
We'll get back into that in a minute.
Okay.
The Sallie's house is reported to be haunted by the ghost of a young girl who died there.
Here we go. It's a fucking kid? Is there
It's a kid.
giggling? Are there balls bouncing around?
There's balls.
Balls. Balls.
According to the story, a child named Sallie,
Oh, that's where it comes from. Now we
yes,
know. Okay.
was brought to Dr. Finley by her mother, who with severe abdominal pain. He gave her.
Oh no.
He examined her, realized very quickly he believed it was appendicitis. He gave her anesthesia and began emergency surgery because he believed the appendix was about to burst, and so he acted quickly.
Well, okay. Well,
However,
snaps.
yeah, like he
Good.
thought he was doing the right thing. Like I would
Good on
like to
him.
also say on this doctor, he had an incredible record.
Oh.
Like for everything that I read about him, he had like an outstanding record up until
We
Sally.
love that. We love a non-evil
like
1800s dog.
it didn't seem like he had evilness behind it. You know what I mean? Like
Right. He was 0% a dick.
yeah.
Okay.
So he gave her anesthesia. However, when he cut into her, it didn't kick in.
Oh no. Oh
And
no.
continued to do surgery while Sally was screaming because she felt the pain and bled out, which ended up killing her.
Help. Okay, if he's 0% a dick, why did he continue if she was screaming?
I don't know.
What
But
in
this is
God's
a story
name?
and a legend.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, and also 1800s. So, this is
True,
all
true,
going
true.
by
True.
a game of telephone from the 1800s.
Correct. Also, she was a woman, so she was,
Yes.
just being hysterical. That's what it was chalked up
Oh,
to.
yes.
Right.
Hysteria.
Right. Blame it on the uterus. Next.
Multiple former tenants have alleged paranormal activity there. It has been
Uh-oh.
especially reported by male residents and visitors, some of whom claimed to have reported being scratched until they've bled, which has led
Oh.
Sally being dubbed the man-hating ghost.
Oh. We love it. Honestly, I would understand why Sally hates men.
I kind of love that name.
The
The
man-hating
man-hating
ghost.
ghost. And
Yeah.
I don't blame her, given
No.
the history.
Yeah. Do I think she needs to attack dudes? I don't know. But, I mean, I kind of get it.
Yeah. Given the pain and the way she died, allegedly,
Right.
I understand.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed.
The home is an attraction now, and if you're brave enough, you can stay there with a friend. There is a 2-person minimum.
Okay,
Cannot
that's
stay
cool.
there by yourself.
Can't be alone. Okay, understood.
And there are very strict rules to be followed.
Oh, you gave me a hint of this. Okay.
Yes.
Hit us.
Attendees must be 18 years or older.
Check.
For individuals under 18, a parent or guardian must be present, and signed consent waivers from a parent or guardian are required.
Okay.
Appropriate footwear is required.
Oh, for kicking ass and running away? Noted.
Yeah. Any person to be found to be drunk or under the influence that may pose a risk or danger to themselves or others will be asked to leave.
Oh,
Due
damn.
to safety concerns, the basement is currently inaccessible. Overnight tours are by reservation only and are restricted to no more than 10 people. Guests will need to bring their own sleeping bags, blankets, and pillows for sleeping. The house has a restroom, water, and electricity, in case you were wondering.
Well, that's good news.
It has all running facilities.
It's all functional.
Photographs, videos, audio recordings are encouraged. However, we would appreciate if you would share anything you may capture on film. So,
I love
sharing is
that.
caring here.
Caring's caring. Okay.
All tours are charged a $150 fee or a failure to adhere to the following: no damage to the house, no smoking allowed in the house, no pets, no flames or candles allowed in the house, no sleeping in the beds, no cooking, no attempting to cleanse the house.
No cooking. What the fuck are you supposed... Well, I guess you could just eat, like, beef jerky all night.
Yeah. No Ouija boards or seances.
Damn it. Damn it.
And no allowing individuals not listed on your lease in the house.
You know what? Honestly, I think all of those are fair rules. All good
Yeah.
things.
So, I like I said, the doctor has somewhat of a clean record because this is apparently the only haunted or spirit in
Sally's
the
the only
home.
one. Okay.
Yeah. And the home is conveniently named for her.
Right, right.
Um,
I would go.
I
150
I I
bucks is a
want to go. I'm
bargain.
not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
really, 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 really want to go. Mainly because she's
Kansas.
the man-hating ghost, so I don't think anything's gonna happen to me. Um,
Fair. Fair.
I fully support her, given how she died. I don't know how he. I don't know if he was hoping that, oh, she'll pass out. I'll continue to be able to save her.
Or this is much too urgent. I don't really know what the
This
logic was
I
there.
don't know if adrenaline just took over and he wasn't thinking correctly. I'm not trying to defend him by any means here.
We
What
also aren't
happened
even
was horrific.
certain.
And we
Also,
really, really are not certain here. Part of me thinks it wasn't that they outgrew the home as much as it maybe his reputation was ruined after this,
maybe so. Yeah.
you know? And also maybe he was being attacked by Sallie afterwards.
I mean, maybe. Like I said, I support Sally too. Do I support her making people bleed? I don't know.
It's a little much.
Little
You know what's
extreme.
interesting? I never found anything on people trying to exorcise the house.
They're like, no, just leave her.
Exorcist. Like, and it's interesting, no cleanses are allowed to be attempted on the home. No, like,
Because they
I
won't make
wonder,
money anymore.
has anything happened in attempt to do that? Has
Oh,
something
maybe.
seriously gone wrong?
Maybe so.
The home has appeared several times on many paranormal shows and ghost hunting
Oh.
phenomena.
Oh.
So I've yet to see those episodes, but I'm curious to watch them.
How old was Sally? How young are we talking? Do we know?
You know, it doesn't say, just it kept saying young girl.
I'm just wondering if we go, if we should bring her like a little something, but then it's like, okay, well, what age is she? What's appropriate to bring
The only videos I did see were on YouTube, and they would place a ball at the top of the stairs and something kicks or pushes it down the stairs.
Oh, so a ball. So she's probably little then. A ball.
Yeah.
We could
There's
bring her
also
Teddy.
Yeah, there's also a room full of dolls and stuffed animals.
Ass. A
I'm
room
assuming
full.
people are bringing her things.
A room full of fucking dolls.
Isn't that not horrifying?
It's adult diaper time. I can't. A room full of dolls. I'm 100% not. If we go there, I'm not sleeping. I'm just gonna
Did
stay
I
up
ever
the whole
tell
night.
you about my grandmother's neighbor?
No.
She
Did that fucker
collected
collect dolls?
dolls.
Oh God. You know,
She
it's
collected dolls, and then my grandmother left me in the room full of dolls, and it
No.
was floor to ceiling of dolls. And
no,
oh,
no. The
she was
problem
a
I
very, very nice lady. I loved this woman. She fostered so many children and kept in touch with every child she ever fostered, which I thought was the coolest thing.
God bless.
Why she had a room floor to ceiling of dolls, though, haunts me.
We can't. I mean, no hate. Like, if people are doll collectors and whatnot, that's fine. But like, I just can't. I can't
Dolls.
I cannot relate. I cannot understand it, and I for sure can't support the dolls where if you move their head around, they blink. No, they don't need a blink. They don't need functional eyelids. We don't need that.
Nope.
We don't.
But that is the Sally's house.
Very cool. Well,
In
I would go there.
Kansas.
I would go there with you in Kansas, and I have a coworker in Kansas, so we could go visit. I love that. Very well done. Very fun. I've never heard of Sally's house ever. So the more you know. My topic is, it couldn't be more opposite, literally at all. This is from a listener. I did not write down the name. I'm a piece of shit. I acknowledge that and I own that. But the topic that I was requested to cover is Groundhog Day.
Oh,
Yes, which is a bit of an oddity when you sit and you think about it, you know.
it really is. Who decided to leave the deciding of whether winter stays or goes to a groundhog?
Well, the great joke around it too is like, okay, so the shadow, it's like I don't know, it's either 6 more weeks, I think, or 6 less weeks. But in either case, it's 6 weeks, so the answer is the same regardless. So there's really no
Yeah.
losing for Punxsutawney Phil. But let's get to it. For our non-American listeners, I don't know if you know about this at all, but it's a thing, and you're gonna learn today. So every year, us Americans in the snowy states, we all wait with bated breath to see whether Punxsutawney Phil will spot his shadow. Who the fuck is Punxsutawney Phil? He's a fucking groundhog.
He's really
So
cute.
he's adorbs. And actually, I in our old house, we were only an hour and a half to Punxsutawney. Like, we totally could have gone to see this shit. We didn't, but we could have. Now we're only 3 hours away. We still could do it. But anyway, every year we take his weather forecast, 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring. We take it as gospel, meteorology be damned. The groundhog has the fucking answers. And it is really about as strange and cute and bizarre as holidays get, right? If you want to call it a holiday. So how did we get to this point? How did we go actually from what was a kooky kind of local tradition to like this annual celebration? For even those of you listening who probably don't worry about winter at all, i.e. you in California.
There you go. I worried about it when I lived in Idaho.
That's right. So let's explore this. So Groundhog Day was originally celebrated with a badger.
Shut up.
I will not.
Was
Listen
it Badger Day?
we're gonna get to all this shit. So every February 2nd, the members of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club, they trek to Gobbler's Knob, which is Punxsutawney Phil's official home, just outside of town. They don top hats and tuxedos, and they wait for Phil to leave his burrow. And if he sees his shadow, the town gets 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't, then you get an early spring. But the early seeds of Groundhog Day that we know today, were planted thousands of years ago, according to a folklorist by the name of Dan Yoder, who essentially penned the definitive history of the folk holiday, turned national tradition. And so the holiday evolved over the centuries as it was observed by different groups, right? From the Celts to Germans to the Pennsylvania Dutch and eventually by those in other parts of the U.S. Its evolution began in the pre-Christian era of Western Europe, when the Celtic world was the predominant cultural force in the region. And in the Celtic year, instead of solstices, there were 4 dates, similar to the dates that we use today, basically to kind of like demarcate the seasons, right? And those were the turning points of the year. And one of them, per this folklorist, was February 1st. These turning point dates were so essential to Europeans at the time that they Christianized them when the Western world widely adopted Christianity. And while May 1st became May Day, November 1st became All Saints' Day, and the February 1st holiday was pushed to the following day and would eventually become what we now know as Groundhog Day. So first, though, the February holiday was known as Candlemas, a day on which Christians brought candles to church to be blessed, which was like a sign of like the source of light and warmth, like for winter, because everything's dark and sad and whatnot. But like the other 3 turning points, there was still it was like a weather important date as well. And it signified, of course, a change in the seasons. So when agriculture was the biggest, if not only, industry in the region, predicting the weather became like something of like a ritual, viewed as essential to like the health of the crops and the townsfolk and whatnot, right? So then there was, of course, some mysticism attached to the holiday too, which can be seen in a poem from 1678 penned by the naturalist John Ray. And it goes, "If Candlemas Day be fair and bright, winter will have another flight. If on Candlemas Day it be shower and rain, winter is gone and will not come again." Although, of course, in ye old times it would have been again. So, the animal meteorology element wasn't folded into all this shit until German speakers came to parts of Europe formerly populated by the Celtic people, and they brought their own beliefs to the holiday, except instead of a groundhog, they hedged their bets on a badger. According to an old European encyclopedia, it points to this German badger as the Candlemas weather prophet, though we don't know why.
The badger was the weather prophet?
The Candlemas weather prophet. Anyway, some sources, including the actual state of Pennsylvania and the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club, say that the Germans also considered hedgehogs because they considered them to be like harbingers of the new season. I don't know what the logic was behind either of these animals, to be honest.
Okay.
Big fan of the concept of a badger being the Candlemas weather prophet, though. So when the holiday comes overseas with the Pennsylvania Dutch, they trade the badger for an American groundhog, which is rather shy and subterranean and likely more prevalent in this new area, obviously, in which they settled. So many sources claim that the original Groundhog Day took place in 1887 when residents of Punxsutawney set out to Gobbler's Knob, known as Phil's official home. But the first piece of evidence that we can look at that serves as kind of like this indication of townspeople trusting a groundhog for the weather is a diary entry dated for 1840. And since Pennsylvania Dutch immigrants mostly arrived in the mid to late 18th century, it's likely that the holiday actually existed for decades earlier than what's recorded, according to the Library of Congress.
Really?
Many official sources around this shit, right? So let's talk about Phil's journey to stardom. So, part of the reason so many people know about Groundhog Day is actually because of the 1993 film with Bill Murray, Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Love that movie, by the way. The phrase Groundhog Day even becomes shorthand, of course, for deja vu, as kind of an homage to this film, kind of this whole reliving the same day over and over thing. But Punxsutawney Phil became something of a cult celebrity even before the film debuted because he appeared on the Today Show in 1960 and visited the White House in 1986 and charmed Oprah Winfrey on her show in 1995. So he was, he's
What a celebrity.
Famous fucking groundhog. Before he was a celebrity, though, he was lunch. So, in a terrible twist, the earliest Groundhog Days of the 19th century involved devouring poor Phil after he made his prediction. Isn't that fucking dark? That upsets me.
I hate that. Oh my god.
All he was doing was poking his little fucking head out of the gobbler's knob, and then these fucking people ate him like fucking savages. Anyway.
Ugh.
The year 1887 was the year of the Groundhog Picnic. And all this shit.
Nauseous now.
I know. So the Pennsylvania historian Christopher Davis writes that locals cooked up the groundhog as a special local dish, served at the Punxsutawney Elk Lodge, whose members would go on to create the town's Groundhog Club. Diners were pleased at how tender the poor groundhog's meat was. It's very upsetting. Very upsetting. Groundhog meat eventually, of course, left the menu because we don't do this fucking bullshit anymore. Because the townsfolk came to realize Phil's worth. And so in the 1960s, Phil got his name, which is a nod to King Philip. The specific King Philip that he's named for is unclear. but that's fine. Before that, he was simply Brother Groundhog.
Brother Groundhog.
Brother Groundhog. Now, of course, he's the Phil that we know and love. So Punxsutawney's Phil popularity has inspired several imitators. There's the Staten Island Chuck in New York. There's Pierre C. Shadow of Louisiana. And Thistle the Whistle Pig of Ohio. Love that one.
Whistle pigs. That brings me back to Mountain Home.
Mm-hmm. To name a few fellow groundhog weather, I guess, prognosticators, if you will. But there's only one Phil, and he is the original. He's the OG. Despite the early practice of essentially eating Phil's family, the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club says that there's only been allegedly one Phil since 1886. He is the ageless groundhog.
Oh, stop.
He's given an elixir of life every year at the summertime groundhog picnic, which magically gives him 7 more years of life, according to the Groundhog Club.
Okay.
Just for funsies, so people are aware. Groundhogs can live up to 6 years in the wild and up to 14 in captivity, per PBS's nature. So do with that what you will. But anyway, Phil also doesn't have to spend the off-season alone. He's married to Phyllis, according to the Groundhog Club.
Phil is married to Phyllis.
Correct. So, unfortunately, she does not receive the same elixir of life and so will not live forever like Phil. There's no official word on how many wives Phil has outlived throughout the years, but if he's allegedly the same Phil since 1886, it's many. As for his accuracy in weather predicting, Phil is rather hit or miss, but we still love him because aren't we all a little hit or miss, right? He often sees his shadow. which per this whole thing that the York Daily Record did, they did like an analysis, and he had seen it like 107 times in the last, I don't know, X amount of years. But um, basically, Phil Phil one time saw his shadow, and then it coincided with like a huge winter storm. Um, Another time, he predicts 6 more weeks of winter, and then it was storm free. So, you know,
I remember plenty of times Phil said, "Spring is coming," and then it did not come, and I said, "That little bastard lied."
yeah. Well, now you know the true secret. Phil can never actually really be wrong because it's 6 weeks or 6 weeks.
It's 6 weeks or 6 weeks.
So really, there's no, yeah.
There really is, yeah.
But that's what I got about King Philip, Phil the Groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil. One thing that pisses me off about all
Badger.
this stuff. I know, originally a badger. I know. This was a trip researching this, first of all. So thank you to
That's really
whoever.
cool, actually.
Yes, thank you so much to whoever wrote this in. I am so sorry again that I didn't take down your name. Please feel free to verbally confirm who you are, and I can share it in like a future episode. But um, I what pisses me off is fucking Phyllis doesn't get the elixir,
Why are women getting the short end of the stick always?
even as a fucking groundhog.
Yep,
I'm annoyed. Now let's be real though. Phil got the short end of the stick because he was eaten
that's true.
like
But,
annually.
yeah, that's a gruesome wake-up call.
Really fucked up.
But again,
Yep.
women just getting... No, you don't get to live forever.
I know Phil's just rolling through the bitches.
And Phil keeps getting, like, what, a young wife every 7 years? Every 14
yes, like
years?
a sweet young thing for Phil. I'm very
Ew.
annoyed.
Ew.
Regardless, I do love Phil and Phyllis.
That is
that's
adorable.
a very cute. We love that. But anyway, that's Groundhog Day. That's what I've got for you.
That was I loved that. That
Fun
was a
little
good
walk
happy
through
ending,
history.
actually.
We aim to please. Yeah, it's just a lot of these, like, I like looking at a lot of these like weird holidays and traditions that like kind of coincide with like former like agricultural practices or whatever else. I think it's cool. Same thing with like Halloween, and I did
Yeah.
an episode on that like way at the beginning of the podcast, and it's fun.
Yeah, no. That was really well done. Good job,
Thank
bestie.
thank you again to whoever suggested it. This was a fun one to read. I was upset when I read about him getting eaten when I was researching this, but
Yeah, we didn't love that.
we don't love that part. But we do need to recognize all parts of history, even the dark ones. So
History is history, no matter what we like about it. So
that's right. That's right. So that's what we've got for you. I want to go to Sally's house right now.
yeah, no, I'm down.
Okay, great.
Grab the snacks.
And we'll see what happens with Phil, I guess, next year. But either way, he's right. So good on him, I guess.
Can't be wrong.
You can't really be wrong. But anyway, kids, we hope you enjoyed as always. And until next time.
Stay strange.